Have you ever given someone a gift that made their blood run cold? Most people think of Mother's Day as a time for flowers, brunch, and thank yous. But this year, I decided to give my stepmother, Susan, a gift she would never forget. As she sat at the head of the table, surrounded by her friends and acting like the queen of the suburbs, she had no idea that the small, beautifully wrapped blue box in my hand was about to dismantle her entire life. She thought she had won. She thought I was too weak to fight back. She was dead wrong. My name is Maya. My biological mom passed away when I was 15, leaving a massive hole in my life. A couple of years later, my dad married Susan. She came into our lives like a whirlwind, bringing along her 20-year-old son, Tyler. At first, Susan was all sweetness and light, but the mask slipped the moment she found out about my trust fund. My mom had left me nearly $500,000 intended for my medical school tuition and my future. It was locked away until my 25th birthday. Every time Susan saw me, she'd make these passive-aggressive comments. "Maya, it's so selfish to sit on all that wealth when your brother Tyler is struggling to start his business," she'd say. I'd always tell her the same thing. That money is my mother's legacy. It's not a family ATM. Last month, I turned 25. I went to the bank, ready to finally start my life. But when the teller pulled up my balance, my heart stopped. The account was empty. Well, not empty. There was exactly $42 left. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I demanded an audit. It turned out that over the last 6 months, someone had been systematically transferring funds out of my account. Susan had found my dad's old power of attorney documents and forged his signature to gain access as a co-trustee. She had drained nearly $500,000 to pay off Tyler's gambling debts and buy him a luxury condo in the city. When I confronted her, she didn't even deny it. She just stood there, sipping her wine, and said, "Maya, grow up. Tyler was in trouble. As your mother, I made an executive decision for the family. You're young. You can just take out student loans. Besides, what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. That's what family does." My dad, God bless him, is a quiet man. He was devastated, but Susan gaslighted him so hard, he started believing it was just a big misunderstanding. That's when I realized, if I wanted justice, I'd have to get it myself. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. Instead, I spent the next 3 weeks working with a private investigator and a high-stakes white-collar lawyer. I played the part of the forgiving daughter perfectly. I even told Susan I was sorry for overreacting. She was so smug. She even invited her entire bridge club over for a lavish Mother's Day brunch to show off how perfect her family was. She kept bragging about the big surprise I had promised her. The afternoon of the brunch, the sun was shining, the mimosas were flowing, and Susan was in her element. She looked at me and chirped, "Oh, Maya, honey, don't keep us in suspense. Where's that gift you mentioned?" I smiled. It was the coldest smile I've ever given. "Of course, Susan. You deserve exactly what's in this box." I handed her the blue box. Her friends leaned in, expecting a diamond necklace or a Tiffany bracelet. Susan tore off the ribbon with greedy fingers and lifted the lid. Her face went from a fake tan glow to a ghostly, sickly white in 3 seconds. Inside the box wasn't jewelry. It was a thick stack of papers, a formal summons for a grand larceny lawsuit, a freeze order on her personal bank accounts, and a flash drive containing the security footage from the bank where she could be clearly seen forging my father's signature. The table went dead silent. Susan started stammering. "Maya, what is this? This isn't funny." I stood up and spoke loud enough for every single one of her high society friends to hear. "That, Susan, is a criminal complaint. You stole my mother's legacy to fund Tyler's failures. You thought you could gaslight me into silence? Think again. You have 24 hours to move your things out of my father's house before the locks are changed. And as for the money, my lawyers are already clawing it back from Tyler's condo. The fallout was glorious. Her friends scrambled to leave, gossiping before they even hit the driveway. My dad finally saw the evidence for what it was and served her with divorce papers the next morning. Susan tried to play the victim, but you can't argue with bank footage and a paper trail. Tyler lost his condo, and Susan is currently living in a cheap studio apartment, waiting for her court date. People say you should honor your parents on Mother's Day. And I did. I honored my real mother by protecting what she worked her whole life to give me. As for Susan, she got exactly what she earned. Happy Mother's Day.